We right here, White Boy Kev. Actually, welcome to the Let Me See What You Smoking show, sponsored by Empire Cannabis Club, and we with the honorary guest, White Boy Kev. I mean, one of the innovators when it comes to this Cuban Black Haze. Shit, I grew up with it, part of it. This is all what it's all about. And I'm here with the man himself that's been part of the legacy in cultivating this powerful cultivar. First and foremost, my brother, thank you for being on the show. It's an honor to have you here. You know what I'm saying? First, we're gonna start is the Cuban Black Haze. I like to educate the viewer, and I like to tell them about the parents. So, what is the lineage of the Cuban Black Haze?
The lineage of the Cuban Black Haze is Northern Lights 5 times Neville's Haze. So that's why it's more in the green. You see a lot of the Northern Lights in it. So it's dominant that way. And it's just been the favorite of Washington Heights and New York City. You know, it's not as popular now, although it's starting to get popular again. But, you know, for years, starting in 93, it came to the Heights. It just ran everything for 20 years. There was nothing else.
It was like, I started smoking when I was 16. I'm 37 now, so that was around 2001-ish, 2001. And bro, it was killing it at that time still.
And that was like the prime era. You were getting the best hazes. I mean, the Cubans in Miami were just killing it. You know, like they were early in the game as far as growing it and bringing it in up, and it just took over everything. Haze was just it. If you went to the weed spot, there was nothing else sold there but Haze. And around 2001, that was just like prime era. You know?
I mean, it's Cuban Black Haze specifically because there's a super silver haze, there's lemon haze,
The Afghan haze.
amnesia haze. There's a lot of hazes, but the one that we're specifically talking about is that Black Haze, which was renamed to Cuban Black Haze. You know what I'm saying?
Well, when I used to go to Florida to pick it up, back in '94.
Talk to us about
They
that.
called it the Black.
The Black Haze, yeah.
It was just the Black.
The Black.
The Black. That's the Black.
Makes sense.
So at the end of the day, you know, the market was controlled and dominated by the Cubans
In Florida.
in Florida.
Yeah.
So, you know, the Dominicans in the Heights and Dykeman are who distributed it, but the growers, that was the Cubans. So the name just kind of evolved through the Cuban Black as respect to the Cubans from Florida, who were the pioneers of all of this. I got my boy Nelly Farms, his brother Zach. They're some of the earliest, if not the earliest, and they were bringing up that fire. They're still involved in the game. They're still around. But out of respect to the Cubans in Florida, you know, like New York might be the home of the haze, but Florida was the birth of it, you know? So it's about giving proper respect where it's due.
Shit, I respect that, man. I mean, they're fathers to the TK, you know, to the Kush.
TK's my boy.
Yeah, of course.
my
Yeah.
boy.
Shout out to TK.
TK has some stories about haze also, about being early in that and getting seeds. So I'm gonna get him up here to come talk to you one day.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be an honor. Do you know? So how do you get the seeds? Like how does White
No
Boy?
seeds.
Okay,
No seeds.
it's a cut.
I got a cut from the Cubans in Florida, and that was it.
That was
I got
it.
the same cut. You know, I change out the mother every year and a half or so, and do fresh ones. But it's just, you know, it's the same lineage.
Okay,
So there's no seeds of it. There are other type of hazes that you can get the seeds. But this particular strain, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know anybody that tells me they have the seeds. I try to earn it. I try to, you know, go longer with it, stress it out to try and get it to produce. And she's never given me any seeds.
that's interesting. That means she's just attached to you, my brother.
For a lot of people.
So a lot. Well, Yeah,
and to New York. And,
yeah.
all time strain Haze would be number one as far as me. Like Patty and them, they don't know what we call hills. They know that like the Hayes brothers and those strands. But like this is a particular strand that
Represent
dominates.
us.
And there might have been another one, the Afghani, that was also killing it too. But this was personally my favorite, and Washington Heights Lightning for me.
Um, but how the hell did White Boy Kev, in the middle of Dominicans and Cubans, get his hand on this crazy strain? How you get involved in this? Who is White Boy Kev?
Well, I grew up in Washington Heights, which was a predominantly Irish and Jewish neighborhood where my parents grew up. But by the time I grew up, 82, 83, Dominicans came and just, populated the area and took over. So I grew up, all my friends are Dominican. My wife's Dominican. My boy who taught me how to grow well, Shark Bite, his family is probably the most legendary weed family in Washington Heights, as far as I'm concerned. There's like 20 different members of it. So they've all been in the game, different variations, and over 30, I don't know, 35, 40 years maybe. Not all Hayes. They were in the game before Hayes. His cousin G-Man is one of the original growers. And so that's family. All my boys that I grew up with, whether it was through sports or different things, to build bonds. And that's what opened me up to have opportunities to not just have my corner on my block on 164 on Broadway, but I was able to be on 173rd with my boy Mikey, and up on 183rd with Mikey and Fruity. And, like weed back then was a gentleman's game because most people were selling crack. It was a different lifestyle.
Yeah,
But then it changed. As the crack game died, the Hayes game got dead. There's a lot of people in our neighborhood that got killed. So
Rest
in
in
the
peace.
90s, early 2000s, good 20, 30 dudes that I know that were killed. For various reasons, competition, women, ego, all those things. So I was just born and raised Washington Heights, at Dickens. I had the corner. And I started growing it. I met Shark. I started learning how to grow a lot better. Shark is here with me today.
Shout out to Shark.
30 years later, still boys. So then I did the marina up on Dykeman, and people that didn't know, it was a abandoned marina. And me and my brother took over and brought in all Dominican bands, Puerto Rican, Colombian. We did the marina, and it was all based on the Dominican community. Because, although I'm white, I don't know white people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I grew up, everybody's Dominican, and they accepted me and loved me. And, I might have had a little testing early on, People think un blanquito, un pendejo. They think white people are soft. So I definitely had to do a lot of fighting and stuff. But for the most part, it was all love. And, I still have a lot of those same strong relationships in the neighborhood. Like I could be on the corners today if I want, because I still got that going on. So I've been very lucky to come across a lot of great people and a great community. Like people may think about the Heights and think about the violence, because yes, it was the murder capital of the world at one point. But like the families were safe. You know what I'm saying? Like we weren't worried about getting robbed, anything like that. It was just, if you were in the game, you had to. So, Washington Heights was a special place.
Yeah.
My mom is still there, 82 years old, same apartment, not going nowhere. So I'm around the block all the time. My brother and I both go see her 5-6 times a week each. So yeah, that's home.
The Cuban Black Haze is super legendary. You get the fracking scene, which is the church piff aroma, the taste and
There's
palate.
two versions. There's the cactus,
Yes.
And then there's the incense.
And yeah,
That's the incense.
they also had like a perfume one too that they were trying to bootleg back in the day. I don't know if you remember those days. They used to give you those for the Fugazi haze. It used to look just like it,
I
but it
still
was
have that.
but it was the perfume aroma that. And once they give you that, you already know you was getting the fake
I
one.
think the Cuban haze was so loved, you know.
Yeah, that woodsy aroma, especially when you smoke it like in a white owl and a Dutch. That's when you really like taste. That's the that's the taste that I grew up with. You know what I'm saying? Because I grew up in White House and shit. So when you smoke it on a Dutch and stuff, it's way different than smoking it on paper. So now when I'm smoking it on paper, I'm actually really, really tasting it to the point that that Northern Light is just slapping. You know what I'm saying? Like straight killing it. And I want to ask you, what's the medium of cultivation that you use to cultivate this popular
I do
cultivar?
soil. I've done the lava rocks. I've done hydro, but I'm still old school. I do soil. Left each bucket, be by hand, no computers, no like nothing like that. Just old school, you know, with some modern tweaks to it.
Um, what's the cure like? And how many days does it take to grow this Cuban Black Haze?
Well, that that plant right there takes me 90 days, and I'm on 11, 13. So we'll probably go more closer to 100. Uh, and then cutting down, like back in the days, I didn't worry about the whole curing and everything, like, because there was such a demand. It was so quick, you know. So now I'm learning how everything is, you know. Cut it, try and get it to 60-60, maybe the cold, 14 days, leave it hanging with leaves and everything on the branches, and trim afterwards. Trim everything by hand. Still, that's the worst part.
Why? You feel like automatic trimmers takes the love out of it?
I just think that the bud comes out prettier when you do it by hand, you know, and uh, haze isn't the prettiest weed as it is. So you don't want to beat it up too, no?
Depends who you're talking to, but yeah.
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 Well, you know, like it doesn't have those colors. Like nowadays, you see purple. You know, like the pinks, shit that looks red. You know, like it's different. So like, it's really not gonna catch your eye. But for a lot of people, the nostalgic value of it. Like for a lot of people, you know, weed, music, food. That's a time machine for us. I can't tell you how many people come up. Oh shit, that reminds me of high school. You know, when they get that smell, oh my God, that reminds me of this. That reminds me of the weed I used to steal from my parents. You know, like, so that's what,
It's nostalgic.
yeah, so it's definitely a nostalgic thing. And it's got a small base now, but it's a very passionate base now. People that like A's really like it, you know, so it's still around.
Yeah, how do you
All
feel
these
about
years.
that? How do you feel about like the youngins actually? Like some of the youngins that you have met in all these events that you've been through? Because I know you met a lot. How do you feel about them? You know,
Yeah, for some of them, it's the first time experience,
yeah.
you know, and you know, like surprisingly, a lot more like it than I would have thought. You know, in comparison to these other weeds with this amazing smell and you know different colors. So you know, but it's been embraced, and you know, like I give it out, and I get hits all the time on Instagram. Oh my God, that pre-roll or that bud you gave me. Wow, you know, like now I get what people talk about. So I think that you know there's a bit of a resurgence coming with it. But now you know there's thousands of weeds. I can't keep up with the names. So, you know, like, it's got a lot to compete with, not like back in the days.
That's another thing. Do you smoke anything besides this? Like,
Yeah, well, I just smoke some
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
whatever
But
this is. But in general, to me, haze is a functional high. If I smoke it, I'll get through my day. I stay crisp, takes the edge off. You know, like, I have ADD and all those other things that go on, and you know I smoke it, and it just puts me in a zone where I get to focus on my garden and focus on my day. And you know some of the other weeds, they're like a different high, maybe a stronger high or a dopier high. And like nowadays with everything that's going on, there's not much free time. You know what I'm saying? There's 18 hours in a day.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody out here knows I'm out here every day. I'm out here grinding, learning, meeting cool people, enjoying the community. Wow, it's an amazing time in history. Like, look what Jonathan's doing here at Empire. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are chilling, seeing my boy Kaleidoscope
Yeah.
throwing that shit right there where you can come every day here. Check this out and see what day to day. Like, it's amazing, the energy
It
out
is.
there.
It is amazing. It is a beautiful thing. It's something that you will never envision. So like back in your day, like will you ever think you'll see something like this right now?
Well, I always hoped, like you saw a place like Amsterdam is doing it, and you thought, eventually, but back in the days, there were people that looked at me like I was a crack dealer because I sold weed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, has the opinion changed dramatically? Yeah. But, my mom still don't know what I do. So, like, I don't feel that it's changed enough that I could tell her. I tell her now, then she go question, what else do you lie about, And that's the only thing I really had to lie about. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's great.
It's a beautiful
But
thing.
it
Yeah.
only happens once.
Yeah.
You're only going to see this once.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is like all those movies based in the 1920s about the alcohol prohibition and whatever. Like, this is what the new era is. You know what I'm saying? Like Jonathan and Empire and some of these other people are out there leading the fight and, bringing it out for us. And, the energy and support from the community, like, it's special.
It is special. It is special. So it's about the how was the New York streets like back in the day? Like how was the cannabis system back in the day compared to now?
Basically, every corner on every block, Washington Heights was the biggest drug supermarket in the world. So you had everything from coke, heroin, to weed. So basically, every block had a weed spot. It wasn't like I had two or three and nobody else did. Everybody, every corner. On 163rd and Broadway, my boy Alan had his weed spot. And he was one of the people that I seen his books because my boy worked for him. And I seen how much money he was making. He's making $20,000 a day, selling 20s. Back in like 89, 90, like in those early days. Then you had Ruben on 174, which was probably the most historic weed spot ever. So, I seen guys like that and what they were doing. And, those guys were doing better than everybody else. But every corner had spots. 173rd, you had the Red Door. You had, Knockout. You had Ruben on 173. On 183rd, I was at, and 184, there was 185th, and 186.
186.
Your boys, your block, your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Gabby, all those
Shout out
guys
to
out
them.
there.
Shout out to Gab 186, the whole gang.
Yep. So, every corner was weed spot. And there was just so much money in the thing that it was just overflow. You know what I'm saying? So even if you had a decent weed spot, you make $5,000. So dimes and 20s. In the summertime, 0.3, but then 0.6 or pounds back then was 6,500. You're breaking it down, you're doubling up your money. So there was just a lot of business money. The whole Dykeman Street, Post Avenue, Vice from Academy, Isnt from Academy was doing it in the early days, and I think he was killed. He was rocking for years, and he probably got killed in 97, 96. And, my boy Will and Marino, who were both also killed, and their sons and brother are still running the spot up on Post Avenue up that way. So, there was just a lot of people making money. A lot of people retired, went home. Fortunately, a lot of people got killed. But, it was real. There was a lot of money. There's a lot of egos. Like there's a lot of shit going on. When you combine all that together, it was a time. So, surviving that is probably the most successful thing I did. Because not everybody else got to. I ask around for people. Not too many people left around,
How do you feel about New York being legal now, and at least letting cannabis be sold recreationally.
Well, I think it's great that people have more access to this medicine, because that's what it is for me. You know what I'm saying? So it's great that they're opening up. And I see that they're letting few my people got their license. Happy Melody, the boy Ivan and Road Cafe, but there's a lot more of us that they got to let. You know what I'm saying? Like, when they came after Jonathan, the sister here, they get hired for us. The system isn't set up yet. I don't really understand what they even do. It's taking too long. And I think it's all a delay game. I think the system is fixed. And big corporations are going to real quick, and they're not going to give the people that built this industry the opportunity. But you have somebody like John from Epcos that put me on his shelf, helping me out. And you got other stores doing the same. Metro Bar, Exhale, different stores that have helped me out. You know, when you have that support from the rack for you, giving you opportunity for you to make more money, help put these interviews together, so help broaden my brand, my store, so like we all support each other. But, they gotta let them in. You gotta stop locking them up. Go after the smoke shops. Those smoke shops are selling K2 to our kids, right? That don't smoke weed, now they all sell weed. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't come for John Lewis. Don't come for any of these people that are legacy. You know what I'm saying? They're doing it. This should look like a fucking apple store. They're doing this shit right. So I feel like, don't hate on them. Try and work with them. Get him his license so he can convert over. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that the rollout's been slow, it's been messy. But hopefully they get it right and they just, learn from their mistakes and work with the community and work with the OGs and work with the legacy and get us in.
At this point, you would like to be legal, or you prefer being the way that should be going.
If it's easy to go legal and it's right, then of course. Because then, for my kids and everything is something that I can build and leave to them and they become legacy. And, I get to support my family without looking over my shoulder. So that would be amazing, of course. But, if we're going to complicate this, make it impossible for us, like, I really can't put that energy into it. I know so many people that have taken all these classes and done all these things. Like I applied for the mentorship program, so I did try. They told me I didn't qualify. You know what I'm saying? So, maybe I didn't fill out the paperwork right. Who knows how that happened? But, so it isn't like I didn't try. But, yeah, let us in.
For sure. I mean, right now, the Supreme Court blocked OCM for even letting anybody build anything. Everything is blocked because of the military. Doing the lawsuit. Yeah, I mean the vets. Yeah, yeah.
I can understand that there are people that are upset that they're not getting it up. You know what I'm saying? I totally get it. And especially with how slow and how bad the rollout has been, I think that it just makes it where people's anger is up. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they would have given these licenses out already, so everybody they were supposed to, and then those vets would already been getting theirs, they would have been made us. So, it's coming. Trying to see things on fire. So, but, if a vet, I can have a vet should be called. Look, vet, serve for this country. What
Yeah. Yeah, respect to all the vets.
So, the exception should have been made for vets too. They put it for this country. Those are the people that went out there and did what they did for us to be able to be here and do what they did.
That's a fact.
I'm not mad at vets for their lawsuit. I think they should have been put into it.
That's well stated. I feel the Supreme Court also shouldn't block the other people that just got their license to doing this stuff. I feel, yes, vets should get their privilege and like everybody else. You know? Do you feel like cultivating anything but Cuban Black Haze, bro? Or it's just Cuban Black Haze? Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, that's my passion. And that's what like if I ever do go legal, because most people never grow take so, I would definitely grow, even if it's at a loss, because we can't let people go. Everything starts to turn corporate and fabric of what we've done all these years starts to get like thinned down a little bit. I'm definitely gonna have to have that. I'm sure some old school legacy will also be doing the same. And if I don't go legal, that's not money. In the haze.
I respect that 100%. I mean, the Cuban Black Haze is special. Every time I take it, like it's something that takes me back. Like you say, it's nostalgic. You know, it's different now because it's on paper. So I taste the earthiness. The wood cider palate. And then it's a clean inhale on this batch. So you did a superb job. With it. Salute to you with this Cuban Black Haze. Um.
And I got the approval Uncle Lou.
You copy. Shout out to Uncle Doobie. What are some of the obstacles that you have taken to be where you at right now, brother?
Shit happens. The growers know. Whether it's a problem with the AC, whether it's a problem with house, whether it's a problem with the electrical, whether there's just so many ways. This plan of all my boys that used to grow this stuff, and I didn't even know. And the next thing, I was the only one that liked it. Stay growing it from like 20 guys. Everybody stopped growing stuff. Tell me, gee, you started. Stuck in time.
That's your love.
So, yeah, that's just my food.
No, that's okay. I respect, bro. I mean, that's why it's good that we're legal. I mean, we're legal now, so we can move more swiftly. You know what I'm saying?
I got rid of it. Like, so those guys, like, it's a relief. Now my kids, they didn't love it till last year.
That's crazy.
I hit my what I did
How was that, man? How was that?
was a job. I leave my house in the suit. Because, when I lost the marine, when they took it from me, locked up my brother as a king. And I was fucked up. They got me back into my mom's house, wife, like starting over. Because they froze me out. I couldn't do that. Brother's face with King thing, he ain't never sold it. They have 10 years. So to see that happen again, and knowing that, they wanted me to see it. So, at that time I was started doing a little bit of private security work. So I was driving around rich families, wearing a suit, a homeless suit. So once I got back into the growing aspect, maybe about 9 months later, I just kept the same suit. Left in the suit, came home in the suit. It was also smart for driving. My family's not worried about me. Then, I was going into the suit. Then I worried about thinking so it was good coverage. So not have to have to leave those guys. So that's good.
Salute. I mean, it's deep, man. Especially all for the love of the plant. Also, because at the end of the day,
And the freedom.
yeah,
I created this food. We had every enough kids, family, cancer, all that stuff. Because I was my own boss, make my own hours. So like what it gave me was time with the people that I care for the most. And when they needed me, that's when I was
respect. So, the Cuban Black Haze from White Boy Kev. Definitely liked the palette, the nose, your dedication to it. That's what makes it more even better because you can see the love and the passion that you put into the plant, you know, by every smoke experience. And I've had it before when you gave it to me previously, and now I see a newer batch, so I see the improvement. So I definitely give it a full.
Growing, always trying to.
Yeah.
Now that we're out, I could call my boy start out and work. Whoa, I have this problem. What do you mean? We've been talking the phone. Boy, girl, I'll talk to you when I come to New York. Couldn't talk to me. It's a conspiracy. You know what I'm saying? So, meeting all the dope growers that I get to meet out now and see what they're doing and learning from them and getting to them. I got Joe and Mel, got us down in Florida, their tips, Joe being able to come in the house and do just this. All right, this is a little bit. So, it's constant. Shark's telling me he wants to run a batch of the 8 because he wants to improve running. So, I'm looking forward to see what.
So are you into collaborating with other cultivators and doing more things, like for example here in New York?
Yeah, well, actually, I want to do a competition where I get my plants in and get to see what the best of New York is. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm a good grower. I'm a good guy. So I'd really love to see it being done in living soil. You know what I'm saying? And see what Shark is doing. See what all these other girls, the New York Growers Club, all those guys. Just do a competition just to see what it was. Take it to that next level.
For sure, for sure. And I feel if some other cultivators focus and do their thing, this plant could, you know, be for generations to come. You know what I'm saying? That they could actually see the love and passion and the taste that it and the euphoric vibes that it gives.
It'll surround.
Oh yeah, I know that for sure. Especially if people keep growing it, especially if you do
It'll get
something.
even better.
But you doing tournaments, it could motivate others to do the thing. Look, shout out to Piff Coast that he did a lot of kept the haze going. You know what I'm saying?
Put a lot of light to it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So that's like innovative right there because it started a tradition for the Piff. For the haze. Yeah.
That's great essentially. So, thank you for that. And then that's something we're also doing. Little Nels took my plant, I grew my plants, and he's doing his own processes, his own strains. So see if maybe that'll be something interesting.
Talk to me about the La Marina boys, like the merch and everything. Like, what? Talk to me about that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's just over the line. Arenas, all those watching the heights, some people that even came with the summer events that I put on every Sunday. It was, it was movies every Sunday. So there were a lot of my boys that hung out there and had hopes. It's kind of like a lifestyle, where it was our ghetto country. That's what the Marina is. All the weed dudes that I knew from Edward also got killed, and Bill, and so many other dudes had their hopes. You know what I'm saying? And the Chill, Benson, so many dudes. If not other people in the neighborhood. So it was like a lifestyle. It was our country club. I put on the performances. People get to chill, hang, drink, socialize. So that's what it was. It's like it's a moment of time. So with everything going on, when I first came out to get into talking to people about the video thing, I met up with a lobby that Hawaiian Mike chef I hired put me on. So I go to meet with him and he's like, so what do you do as far as branding you have with him? Really? I haven't figured that out. I didn't understand what was going on. I never put my name on the bag. It's like, what do you do? Why put that for the bag? Everybody knows who you are. know, called my boy up below. I was like, back home. When I was like, I never saw it like that. Like, because the marina was something I actually hid from. Because with my brother getting locked up, I'm bullshit, and my mom, the embarrassment towards her, the shame, because I didn't get to go out and defend myself. Hey, look, I only sold it. Because, at the end of the day, I didn't admit shit.
Basically,
So something that we did before, now something that we can play. Because the marina changed the whole dynamic.
word up.
And that's what we, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can put whatever we want. Marina, ain't nobody can touch it. That shit was a once in a generation moment, time, place. Like, it'll never be duplicated. Just like the pots with the weed, it'll never be the same. People will never understand what the OG, like us, Giant, and his father, and all these other dudes, Randy Amir, and Delicioso, who did time, all the people whose families that were affected in the fields. Like, nobody will understand that because it's gone. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. So, like what Kev was from Washington Heights, proud to be from Washington Heights. Shout out to my community. All here, the marina is something that me and my brother created. I'm proud to let everybody know. So,
That's what's up, man. Shout out to you guys because you guys did start something that brought later, or at that time, it brought a lot of celebrities, a lot of fame.
that's just in rap songs, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what was created for you, will always be written. No, people always, oh, shit,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, Cuban Black Haze, I give it a 4 out of 5. Worth the try. Takes me back to the high school days, like I told you. Blueprint album, Jay-Z, 2001. You know what I'm saying? I'm a 9/11 survivor, so after all that, I just wanted to smoke some bud. You know what I'm saying? Cuban Black Haze was one of the first. You know what I'm saying? That I was trying in the fucking rooftops. You know what I'm saying? So thank you so much for your time, my brother, and thank you for being part of the Let Me See What You Smoking show. The Cuban Black Haze. Thank you for our sponsors, Empire Cannabis Club. Members,
Empire, Jonathan.
members can find Cuban Black Haze from White Boy Kev here. You know how Empire shows love to their members, and you already know the vibes. Let me see what you're smoking. Peace.
The commission